Right, welcome back. We'll try and get Wafula Chebukati, IEBC chairperson. If we do, Sophia Wanuna will be speaking to him in a little bit. But our panel is also seated. We're going to be speaking to them. Eden Duale, Professor Peter Kagwanja, and Professor Karuti Kanyinga. They're already seated. I'll be speaking to them. But first, let's take a look at some of the numbers that made sense in the last election. And we begin tonight with the numbers that count in the last election. Now, we go back to the total number of registered voters, which was 19,601,502 against a population of 47,564,296. Now, these were the numbers that counted. Then next, let's look at the regions, how they had the numbers. The highest numbers of registered voters in the 2017 general election was Nairobi County with just over 2.25 million registered voters. Kiambu had 1,180,920. Those were the highest registered counties in the last election. But we also had the smallest registered, is just there, but Lamu had the smallest registered voters, just over 69,000 with those from the last election. But we still have more numbers. This is a little bit going a little bit faster, but Lamu there with 69,776. Still on the numbers that counted. Let's take a look at the next slide now. And this was the registration by region. Now, we begin from the coast. The coast region had 1.7 million registered voters. The lower eastern was the second, was the third at 1,518,076, and Mount Kenya had the largest voting bloc in the last election at 4,382,054, and of course Nairobi, as I mentioned earlier, just over 2,250,000 votes. So this was northeastern, 910, one of the lowest, by the way, but not so low. We had Lamu with the lowest. Nyanza had 2,688,000 registered voters. Rift Valley had the second highest registered voters. And this, mark the numbers, remember the numbers, it will really make sense when we look at it again, because Rift Valley and Central Kenya alone would have solidified the win for President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto. So the second highest registered voters came from the Rift Valley, and Western had about 2.266 million registered voters. And of course, the total registered voters is 19,601,502. We'll be breaking them down. We'll tell you next that these voters did not all go to cast their ballot. We'll be telling you the reasons. But first, let's go back to Sophia Wanuna, who is also on standby, still on standby with Wafula.